Hello, we'll talk today, the 24th of August, 2023, about Pierre Charles, who died on this day, the 24th of August, but in 1950. He was a French designer and architect, and at least La Maison de Verre is a very important building in Paris that he is co-author of, although he's mainly considered the author of this building, but actually there was also a Dutch architect who contributed, perhaps significantly. So Pierre Charles, books here, well, he didn't write these books, but he made those cases within which the books find themselves. This is the cover of a book on him, designer and architect Pierre Charles. And let's look at some drawings of him. He was a very interesting designer, rather kind of eclectic, something that there is a duality in his designs. They are not only forward looking, but sometimes backwards looking. It is not very clear to what extent he was the author of La Maison de Verre, but he was there nevertheless, maybe in a major way. And I will present that famous building in Paris in detail. He designed a lot of furniture, and you can see the furniture is, you can't truly call it modern, but at the same time, you cannot really call it traditional. Now, Pierre Charles and the question of authorship. There was a major exhibition by Diller, Escofidio, and Refro, designed exhibition at the Jewish Museum in New York City, which examined the legacy of the French designer. And these are images from that exhibition, which took place a few years ago. Pierre Charles, Modern Architecture and Design, which opened Friday, well, in that year when the exhibition took place at the Jewish Museum in New York, is the rare double show as compelling for the installation by Diller, Scofidio, and Renfro as for the display of furniture and interiors by the French cult figure who practiced in Paris from the end of World War I to the Depression. The exhibition is the first devoted solely to Chareau, who lived between 1883 and 1950. He was 4 years older than Le Corbusier in the United States. So the exhibition is the first one devoted to him in the United States, where he is known primarily for designing the legendary Maison de Verre. Sorry for the misplaced letters there. Maison is M-A-I and then S-O-N. On the left bank in Paris. The show and very readable catalog flesh out the legend, documenting the design career of a successful architect Monquet, who failed the exams to get into the École des Beaux-Arts. So, scenes from the exhibition, or images from the exhibition by Diller, Scofidio, and Renfro, themselves remarkable architects. And this is shown even in the design of the exhibition at the Jewish Museum. So it wasn't Pierre Charles who designed this exhibition, but as I said, Elizabeth Diller, Ricardo Scofidio, and Renfro. Unfortunately, I don't know his name, his third partner. This is an image of La Maison de Verre, the house of glass, or the glass house. There were several famous house glasses built in modern architecture. This is one of them in Paris. Chareau, who aspired to be an architect despite his lack of training, practiced primarily as an interior designer, and photographs of the swank interiors he did for Paris haute bourgeoisie show the impeccable taste of an ensemblier. An interesting word, no? Ensemblier, an artiste décorateur who, like a set designer, brought together paintings, carpets, colors, wallpaper, and furniture, not all his own, in fully coordinating interiors. He would have done well doing movie sets in Hollywood, but he didn't. Here are some pieces by him. Ensemblier, Pierre Charles, Ensemblier. But Chareau's discrete and limited exercises in metal furniture and armatures hardly prepares us for the Maison de Verre, a full-stop masterpiece of machinery and industrial culture designed between 1928 and 1932 for a doctor and his family. Well, you know, Villa Savoie was done in 1928. In the context of the designer's work, the house emerges as something of a surprise, full-blown and mature. It is clearly an inventive, original monument of modernity. We learn in the show and in the accompanying catalog that Chareau collaborated on the house and several other buildings with the trained Dutch architect Bernard Bijouet. I'm almost sure I pronounced terribly and I apologize. I am very uncomfortable with the Dutch language. The share between what Chareau produced before the glass house and the sudden advent of this radically complete vision gives a visitor pause. Did Chareau really design the house himself? Did his architectural partner, or was it the result of equal integral collaborations, including the one-off work by D'Albert? It would be helpful to see examples of other buildings done by Bijouet to understand what the apparently self-effacing Dutch architect brought to the project. This is truly a remarkable house, and it's very possible that the contribution of the Dutch architect was very important. The catalog itself asks who actually designed the project, and answers information is relatively scarce. The young Dutch engineer and architect Bernard Bijouet must have had a significant role, and he probably did and does. Well, did. Maison de Verre, 1928-1932, Paris. Initially, the building was known as the creation of Pierre Charles, but later scholarship apparently brought to the fore the name of the Dutch architect more and more. We see you know, the magnificence, if the word is not too exalted, of glass bricks. Maison de Verre, impeccably executed steelwork. as opposed to other maison de verre glass houses, this one operates within the field of translucency, if there is such a word, of the translucent. It's not that myth of infinite transparency. Quite the opposite. We see shadows. Now we see nuances. We see very little. I mean, from the inside, you don't see the outside in an opulent way. Is this ambiguity related to the brick, to the glass brick that creates a more nuanced relationship between the interior and the exterior? We remember what Jean Nouvel said: complete transparency is obscene. Well, here we don't have much obscenity because there isn't a complete transparency at all. The interior is very luminous, but the frontier between the outside and the inside is more nuanced because of the material used. This is a doctor's office and house where he lived and worked. I said he, maybe it was a she, I don't know. Now, La Casa de Cristal de Pierre Charles, this is the, the same thing, the same name, but not in French. Maison de Verre by Bernard. Here I found the name of the Dutch architect in front of the name of Pierre Charles, which means that indeed Bernard Vigepoet, he was evolving, in the consciousness of our time more and more. Apparently, he was indeed a significant presence in the making of that house, but initially, I think the commission came to Pierre Charles, and then he involved the Dutch architect. Other images from the house, but now with the doctor's office. Now, a house for Robert Motherwell. Robert Motherwell was an important painter in modern times in the United States, and this is the house for him in East Hampton, New York. Maybe Robert Motherwell also had a role in the conception of the house, I don't know, but Pierre Charles apparently was, the architect or the creator of the house. It's not a bad house at all. Done for an important painter, Robert Motherwell, in a place filled with houses for celebrities. That is East Hampton, New York. Now, if Pierre Charles worked alone here, then this shows that he was quite capable of operating within the field of modern architecture by himself quite eloquently. Because I think he designed this without participation of the Dutch architect. I don't know if this house still exists. You see, all the photographs are black and white. Pierre Charles. And this is Robert Motherwell, the painter. Maybe he contributed too to the building. I don't know. I know. I see a picture in colors too, but it looks like an old picture. So I don't know if the house still exists. Maybe it does. Pierre Charles in East Hampton. We are approaching the end of the presentation. Some designs of objects, furniture that is. Pierre Charles, who died on the 24th of August, 1950. Metal and wood. Not bad. This one rather whimsical. So he had interesting ideas if we contemplate just this piece of furniture, which doesn't need too many explanations because it's self-explanatory. Solid wood. It seems he had a desire to bring in process. So not just a finalized object, but also, to involve the object in possible transformations through limited but still noticeable through these movements. We see here, so process that is, I'm sorry, becoming is part of is part of the design. So it's not just about being, but it's also about becoming. And we see this in this chair as well, which apparently was made or used in the house for Robert Motherwell. That's it. So thank you.